Hello everyone, my name is Jason Parker. Welcome back to this channel about magic. Today I'm reacting to a magician on Penn and Teller's Fool Us Season 6, Episode 4. Her name is Anna DeGuzman, and I've seen her before on YouTube doing stuff like street magic and cardistry. I know she's very talented, so I'm excited to see what she has to show us today. Let's get started.
Hi, I'm Anna DeGuzman. I'm from New York. I'm 20 years old, 5'2", a Leo. This is starting to sound like a dating profile. I was 15 years old when I started watching cardistry videos. You can think of it as like card juggling, flipping cards around. I was like, I can do that. So I taught myself flourishes and moves and started making my own videos. And then I was like, I want to do magic now too. It's opened me up to where I had the confidence to approach people and talk to them because I knew that I had something that no one else in the room could do. Magic's hot. I think magic makes you interesting. I've been performing magic only for 2 years now, and I'm on Penn and Teller, which is pretty crazy.
Ready to show her card magic to Penn Teller and me, Anna DeGuzman.
I just want to say real quick, it's cool in her intro, she said that she saw cardistry and she thought, I can do that. I think many people don't think the same way, and that's really cool. She has such a healthy confidence level. I think that's awesome, and I think it allows people to achieve great things when they really believe in themselves. End of motivational speech. Proceeding.
Ladies and gentlemen, Penn, Teller, Allison, it's so lovely to be here on Fool Us. This is a bucket list moment right now. Thank you. Hi, Mom. I do all sorts of magic tricks, but cards are definitely my favorite. I actually started off as a cardist. Are you familiar with cardistry? Yes? It's the art of manipulating playing cards. Now, it's not magic, but it looks magical. And I thought I would combine those both for you here today. But first, I did bring a gift. I don't have pockets in this dress, so. Teller, I have 2 decks of playing cards. Please take one for yourself, and I will use the other. Right there, sure. Get rid of it, put it away, guard it with your life. Thank you. Now, Allison, we are going to need to generate a random number, but let's make it a little bit more difficult. Can you think of someone special to your heart?
Yes.
You have someone, do you know their birthday?
Mm-hmm.
Not the month, just the day. Do you have the number in mind?
Sure.
And just so that everyone here knows, you could say the number out loud.
24.
24. Great. Now I'm going to riffle through the cards. Just say stop whenever it feels right.
Stop.
Right there. Perfect. Now, a lot of people think my shuffling is suspicious, even though I think it's pretty fair. You can actually see each card, one by one, intertwined. Now, don't worry, your card's still in there. It's not like I stole it out or anything yet. In fact, everything I'm doing right now is actually meant to be a distraction while I find your card. Is it working?
Yes.
Allison.
Yes.
You were thinking of a number. What was it again?
24.
24. Okay. It's kind of high. Okay, now I'm just showing off, obviously. Done.
I just gotta stop the video here real quick and say that it's cool she attempted so many difficult cardistry moves they write on TV because I'm sure she's nervous, and when you get nervous, your hands can get more stiff, and it's very possible to mess up or drop cards or do something like that. So I think it's really cool she took such a risk to do this difficult moves right in front of everyone in the camera. Proceeding.
Your card's now 24 down in the deck. Any questions?
I like some evidence that it's 24.
Any other questions? Here, I'll prove it to you right now. Let's count very fairly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. That's 24.
Yeah.
Penn, for the first time, what was your card?
6 of hearts.
Now that would be pretty good. But I touched these. You know, I could have, read your mind, figured out the card was the 6 of hearts. I could have used sleight of hand to put it down in that position, right? That's totally probable. Mm-hmm. So what would be impossible is if it was 24 down in a deck that I haven't even touched. Like the one you've been holding on to this whole time? Could that be what I was foreshadowing?
What?
There's no way. Teller, can you take the cards out of the box? I don't want to touch them at all. Now go ahead and deal them and count out loud. I thought I would. Okay. Just go ahead. Allison, can you count for him? Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Would have been 23, but that's 24. Now, if we had shuffled any differently, you would have said stop at a completely different card. All the cards are different. But you said the 6 of hearts?
Yes, I did.
Teller, show everybody the 6 of hearts.
Anna DeGuzman, everyone! Oh my goodness, man. Whoa. How did you learn to do that?
YouTube.
No way.
Like online, yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah. You taught yourself?
I just basically taught myself. I saw it and I was like, I want to do that. I can do that. So I just started practicing, creating my own moves, and made videos of myself online too. So.
When did you start?
Okay, let me go ahead and give you my thoughts now before we hear from Penn and Teller. So I'm thinking about that last card. She'd said if we'd shuffled any differently, the card could be in a different spot. But actually that second deck was not shuffled at all. In fact, it was just in Teller's pocket the whole time. So it was just using the powers of deduction. It must have been that when she handed the deck to Teller, that card was already in that position. I guess probably both decks could have been set up the same way so that he could have just chosen either deck. So Allison gave the number 24 for the date of the birthday of someone special to her. And as far as the chosen card, the 6 of hearts or diamonds or whatever it was, that must have been a force. So unfortunately, that leads me to believe that Anna knew the host was going to pick 24 ahead of time. And I can see one of two ways this would happen. Either the host would agree to just say the number 24 when asked, but I kind of doubt that's what happened. More likely there was some pre-show work. Actually, that's totally incorrect. I thought about this some more and realized that A, on Penn and Teller's Fool Us, they wouldn't allow this kind of thing, and B, after reviewing the footage a second time and hearing what Penn had to say, now I believe I understand what she was doing. So I believe Allison could have picked any person with any birth date, and that was a completely free choice. Anyway, I'll give you more of my thoughts about this particular issue later in this video. I just wanted to go ahead and correct myself now and set the record straight. I'm actually kind of embarrassed that I even thought that she had Allison agree to give that birth date. And now, back to the original commentary. Also, I want to say that I really liked how she was doing these cardistry moves and mixing the cards, and at one point I saw her doing something that looked a lot like a false shuffle, and then it made me start thinking, are all these cuts and moves she's doing false cuts? But the cool thing was, it was all a red herring because she wasn't going to reveal the card in that deck. It was just some interesting thing happening before she would reveal the card in the deck in Teller's pocket. Anyway, let's go ahead and hear what Penn and Teller have to say.
I started cardistry about 5 years ago, but I started doing magic 2 years ago because, all this stuff is cool, but everyone's like, oh yeah, that's really impressive, but can you show me a trick? And that's how I picked up magic, just to start being able to do both. And I think they complement each other pretty well.
That's so cool. So there's not a lot of women in magic.
I never really had anyone to watch when I was growing up learning magic, so I want to be the inspiration to get more people into it, especially girls.
Definitely. And so what would it mean if you fooled them?
I don't know. I would love to be able to tell my parents that I fooled legendary magicians, because then maybe that'd be another thing to prove to them that I could do this. Yeah. They think it's just for fun, and it is, and I never thought anything of it. I just did it because I thought it was cool. But now I want to do it professionally and, like, pursue it.
All right, it's time for the boys to tell us how they think your trick was done. Boys!
You know, I started out as a juggler, so I always like cardistry more than Teller does. And if I had my way, there'd be a lot more of the cardistry stuff and the flashy stuff, because I just love it, and you do it beautifully. And one of the things that's important with cardistry is that not only is the stuff hard, but it always looks great. And also, you did another thing that jugglers do, which is you told the truth. You said that the cardistry was misdirection, and it was. And very successful misdirection. There's all that stuff we're watching while other stuff is going on. And looking at you, of course, we know you're supremely skilled with the deck of cards in cardistry, and we love that.
Thank you.
And you gave Teller a real choice of the two decks at the beginning. He could have chosen either one. That's amazing. We'll let the audience know there was no magician's choice, no nothing there. But also looking at you, we can tell, I mean, we don't like to do psychic readings. We can tell you have a really good memory. Really good memory, and that's really important to you. So, do you have any idea what I'm talking about?
Okay, did Penn tell you enough? Did they figure it out?
Yeah, they're very smart. They got this one.
All right, well, thank you. Anna DeGuzman! Thank you. That was amazing.
That was a really good act.
Okay, now for some concluding thoughts. And I gotta tell you, I completely refilmed this segment that you're seeing right now, because the first time I was so fooled, I was going completely off on the wrong theory that Allison had agreed to give the birth date with the number 24. As I mentioned earlier, I don't think that's correct at all anymore, especially because they wouldn't allow it on the show. And actually, the fact that I was fooled so bad is because of two things. Number one, Anna did an excellent job performing her effect. She's a great magician, and I'm sure if she were to perform for you in real life, you would be completely fooled. So I don't want to downplay her abilities at all with my next point. She did an amazing job. The next point, number two, has to do with video and watching magic on television. When I reviewed this video a second time, I noticed that Penn and Teller chose to chop off a chunk of the magic. They sliced out and removed a segment of the video. There's one part where Anna is holding her hands up like this, and then immediately it shows her in the next scene with her hands holding the deck, and she's completing a cut. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Go ahead and watch this replay.
24. Great. Now I'm going to...
As you can see, there was a piece of time missing there. I'm guessing that as she was talking with the spectators around herself, she was moving the deck around and presenting it as an example of what they're going to do next. I don't want to go into too many details on that technique here in this video, but if you're a card magician, you'll know what I'm talking about. Anyway, the point is there's a chunk missing, so we were just left to guess. And that's the thing about magic on TV, is sometimes there can be a lot of editing. On the one hand, I do understand why they do it, because if you were watching magic in real life, you wouldn't have time to process every single little thing, and there would be opportunity for misdirection. But when you can watch a video and just rewind it and analyze in close detail, sometimes the producers of these shows make the choice to remove a piece that you wouldn't remember if you were observing in real life. So from that point of view, you could argue that it's fair to do this. On the other hand, it's not really fair for us viewers watching television at home. Especially in this show, we're supposed to be using our intellect to analyze, you know, and the judges are trying to see if they're fooled or not. We as the viewers kind of want to do the same thing. We want to watch and see if we are fooled. We want to see if we can figure it out. Mostly because of the context of the show, which is called Fool Us. If it was any other show, just some normal magic presentation, I wouldn't be saying that our job is to analyze and figure it out. Magic should just be enjoyed. But in this case, I can kind of see both sides of it. Anyway, what do you think about this whole concept of them removing chunks of the magic from the final video that we see on TV? Comment below. Smash like! Also, what did you think about Anna's performance? Leave your comment below about that as well. I thought she did an excellent job with her performance. She made it entertaining and fun, and she integrated her cardistry skills into the magic, which is not something that everyone can do. And for me, it was really fun watching a YouTuber go on Penn and Teller's Fool Us. When I saw the name, I was like, oh, I know who that is. As far as how the magic effect was accomplished, now, because I think I know how she did it, I don't want to directly expose that. I already talked a little bit about methods earlier, but I don't want to go too deep into that. Suffice it to say, Penn himself was saying what a great memory she has, and at first I was confused by that statement, but upon further consideration now I realize what he meant by that. And it actually means that Anna was doing something even more difficult, which I didn't imagine on my first viewing of the video. And it's amazing that she's accomplished all of this by the age of 20. I'm sure we'll be seeing more and more of her in the future. So my hat is off to her. Anyway, I look forward to reading you guys' comments. Make sure to click like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe for more magician reactions, tutorials, street magic, etc. And I will see you in the next video.